if a guy isn't texting, like here's a question from Isrea. If a guy says he's in love with you, you've known him 8 months, stays consistent, then he gets busy. It's been 8 days and you didn't hear from him until you text again. What about men who like feel consistent and then they just drop off? Any thoughts there, Matt?
Yeah, I have lots of different thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm.
One is because there's this concept that we talk about a lot called leaning back, right? And leaning back is a concept that is really, really good for you if you are in this space where you are just going like you're going overboard with a man and you are investing too much and you constantly have these guys where you're giving everything and you feel like you're giving everything to a man but he's taking you for granted. It's really good to lean back, and sometimes we'll even recommend that you don't initiate any texts or you don't do anything and see what happens. However, it can get you in a lot of trouble. And the reason that it can get you in a lot of trouble is not because of the technique, actually. The technique is very sound. However, the trouble is in the misinterpretation of what leaning back is.
Yes.
And the misinterpretation is, and I was actually reading a book not too long ago by a woman in the dating industry, and she was like, you need to lean back, which means you never ever send a text message first to a guy, right? And you never show him interest and you never do all these things, right? And I'm like, oh, no wonder our industry is so messed up. And it's one of those things where, like, if a guy doesn't think that you're into him, if a guy thinks that he's doing everything and that you aren't appreciating him, you're taking him for granted, a lot of guys, especially healthy men, will just disappear on you because they're like, I don't think she's that into me. Right? Relationships are built together. They're built together, not by one person or the other. Anytime you have one person investing and the other person doing nothing, it's a problem. However, you want him to be doing most of the investing, at least up into commitment. Because that way, he's constantly the one that's chasing you. And if anything goes wrong, right, you know about it. However, you can initiate text messages, right? You can send him a text message. If he has been moving towards you, if his energy's been moving towards you, he's been initiating everything. He's taking you out on dates. He's, spending money on you. He's, telling you really sweet and amazing things. He's doing all this stuff. You can send him a text message by initiating. You can initiate a text message, and it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. In fact, it's kind of normal, like something a regular person would do.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it depends, right? Like, have you initiated text messages at all? Is there anything else that would tell you that there's something weird going on, right? Like, he might be testing you. Right? There's a good possibility that right now he's testing you to see how long you would go if he doesn't initiate a text message, right? Because a lot of guys will be like, because he's on the other side of this, right? And he might be talking to his friends or he might be getting dating advice, and he's like, if I don't initiate a text message with her, I'll never hear from her again. Right? And so he's like, what should I do? And one of his friends is probably like, you should probably just wait and see what happens. Just don't send her a text message and see what happens. See how long it goes. She's not really into you, man. Like, you never know. You never know. So it depends on your situation, though.
Okay.
I'd have to know more about your situation.